Well, look, there's no question that it's rubble. There's no question it's inhabitable at this point, and that it's difficult for Palestinians to navigate the situation. What is not possible is to move them out to Egypt and Jordan and wherever else President Trump is foreseeing them, Albania, Indonesia, he's mentioned other places. That's at best a pipe dream. Palestinians aren't going to leave the land of Palestine. And the only possibility might be if Israel were totally withdrawn from Gaza and the area were totally under Palestinian control so that they had the assurance that they'd be able to return. Remember, 80% of Gaza people are Palestinian refugees from 1948. If they want to go anywhere at all, they want to go back to their homes that Israel has taken over or destroyed in what is now Israel itself. They're not going to leave the land of Palestine without the assurance that they'll be able to return. President doesn't understand them. He sees them as pawns on a chessboard to be moved around. Israel sees the evacuation of Gaza as a dream of theirs,
Right.
where they'll be able to take the land and settle it. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Palestinians won't do it, but it's also not going to happen because the Jordanians and Egyptians and the rest of the Arab world wouldn't tolerate it.
Okay, yeah, I got to be honest. I saw an issue I hadn't really thought a lot about when we were covering all of this because, until the president brought it up, and I understand, the way he brings up things is, however you want to describe it, unconventional or whatever the case may be. But he clearly got it from Witkoff, who went there in person and, knows buildings and the rest, and said this just is uninhabitable. So what about that
was by
part of
design. It was by design. I mean, Israel demolished Gaza.
Right. So what should they do? What would they do if they can't move out? Then what's the practical answer then if it's not what Trump's saying?
The practical answer is to have Israel withdraw its forces and have a force in place in Gaza that would allow Palestinians, if they desire to leave for a period of time, to do so.
Right.
The guarantee
so like
that
the UN or something like that. Yeah, like a UN or a peacekeeping force or something
that could be trusted. Israel is not trusted, and they're still in control. The U.S. is not trusted, and they are seeing themselves in control. The fact is that they are not going to deal with another evacuation from the land of Palestine without the guarantee they could return.
So you have issues with the execution, but it's not that crazy. The point is, like, getting them out so that they could rebuild safely is not that part of it is not a crazy idea to you. It's just the way it would be done.
It's not, but they're not going to leave unless they're guaranteed the ability to return.
Okay,
that's not going to happen. And let me make a point. Let me make a point. I'm tired. I heard the last speaker. I'm tired of people who have no concept of the region, no concept of the people of the region, no feeling for their humanity or their rights, speaking about the region as if they know what they're talking about. They're the decision makers, but the people who are the victims of their decisions are there in a very tenuous and fragile situation.
What are you referring to, specifically?
About Iran, about the Arab world, about, Israel having demolished this and demolished that and whatever, and the region is now more secure. It is not more secure. Lebanon is horrifically fragile. Palestine is seething. The West Bank today is witnessing more attacks by the Israelis, more house demolitions by the Israelis. This is a cauldron waiting to explode, and the rest of the Arab world is sitting as well at the edge of their seat, waiting to see what's going to happen next. To pretend that all is well because Netanyahu says all is well is a really dangerous situation for us to put ourselves in. We have to look on the ground and see real people, real suffering, and understand that they are human beings and can tolerate just so much.
What do you
That's
make
what
of
led to October 7th, and we may see another explosion. I don't want it. It would be terrible to happen. But frankly, we have to understand these are real people, and they can tolerate so much pain.
It's a really good point. What do you make of the way Trump's handled it, though, since he came in? Is he surprised you at all? Badly how?
Badly. No,
I guess what I was going to ask about how he surprised you is, bringing up this idea of even talking about the welfare of the Palestinian people and all of this kind of thing, as opposed to just being one-sided with it with Israel. Has that part surprised you? What when you say badly, what do you mean?
If I thought he meant the welfare of the Palestinian people, I'd feel differently, but I don't. I mean, he's talked about beachfront property. He's talked about, doing it in a way that, would be appealing to investors. The concern here is not the right of Palestinians to live on their land. Look, Palestinians have, if anything, have developed a culture of resistance. One, they want to stay on their land. The Arabic word is samud. They're steadfast. They're not leaving. To the same degree that Jews have an attachment to the land, Palestinians have attachment to the land, and to take precedence of one over the other doesn't make sense. And frankly, the language I hear from the president while he talks about what's difficult to rebuild with them there.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.